Hey everyone, and welcome to our third and final part in our first look at Amtrak's brand new ALC-42 locomotive built by Siemens Mobility in Sacramento, California. In this video, we are going to be following Amtrak number 300, the first new ALC-42 locomotive, as it begins its journey back east for delivery to Amtrak in Washington, D.C. for initial testing on the Northeast Corridor. We'll follow the locomotive starting with its departure from the Siemens Mobility factory on Friday, June 11th, and then on Saturday, June 12th, we'll chase the locomotive as it is moved eastward on Amtrak's California Zephyr long-distance passenger train from the San Francisco Bay Area over the Sierra Nevada mountains to Reno. Now let's return to the Siemens Mobility factory in Sacramento. Early in the morning on June 11, 2021, Siemens Mobility technicians and engineers made some final adjustments and inspections to Amtrak locomotive number 300 as it idled away in the morning sunlight. The schedule was for Amtrak to pick the locomotive up in the 11 o'clock hour. Following its departure from the French Road Siemens Mobility plant in the Sacramento suburb of Florin, the 300 was to be brought to Amtrak's Oakland maintenance facility. From there, it would be added to the train consist of Amtrak's California Zephyr for the portion of its journey from Oakland to Chicago. Shortly after 10 a.m., several Siemens Mobility employees posed for a group photo op in front of the locomotive prior to its send-off. Around 10:30, a short Amtrak train arrived to pick up the new locomotive. Two P-42 DC locomotives sandwiching a superliner coach was the consist for this move. This equipment had been added to one of the Oakland to Sacramento Amtrak Capital Corridor trains the night before. That morning, it made the short trek from the Sacramento Valley Station in downtown Sacramento to Florin. While one P-42 is more than enough to pull the new Charger, a second locomotive was also used due to the necessity for the short train to be able to change directions with ease. Additionally, the coach car was added in between the two locomotives in order for the train to meet the minimum number of axles required to ensure the train would properly trigger the various trackside signaling systems. With a clunk of the knuckle couplers, old and new were coupled together for the first time. Amtrak number 3 is a General Electric built P-42 DC locomotive. Built in August of 1996, it was the third locomotive of this type built for Amtrak. Now 25 years old, the 3 was showing signs of a well-worn locomotive. As one of the oldest P-42 locomotives in the fleet, it was only fitting that it would be assigned the duty of retrieving the first in the next era of passenger power for the railroad. While the crew was checking the air brakes, a northbound freight train rolled by. At 11:30 a.m., the train was granted permission to depart. Amtrak 17 led the charge as it rolled out of the Siemens Mobility factory with the brand new 300 in tow. Following an early afternoon arrival into Oakland, the 300 would be placed onto the California Zephyr for the next day's journey eastbound. The next morning, we met up with the California Zephyr and Locomotive 300 shortly after their departure from the Emeryville station. This is Pinole, a relatively quiet town with a scenic view of San Pablo Bay. This stretch of railroad is part of the Union Pacific Martinez subdivision previously owned by the Southern Pacific Railroad. Today's journey would take us along the route of the original Transcontinental Railroad as we traverse the rugged Sierra Nevada mountains over the famed Donner Pass. At Roseville, the train made a brief station stop. Roseville is a railroad town with a history going all the way back to the Transcontinental Railroad. To this day, Union Pacific still maintains a large freight rail yard here. Roseville is also the home base for the railroad's snow fighting equipment that is used during winter seasons with particularly high precipitation. The California Zephyr made its next station stop in the small town of Colfax. At this point, the train was well into its climb over the Sierra Nevadas. With a view atop a ridge high above the Bear River Valley, the train reached Emigrant Gap. This was a well-known site where the first party of covered wagons bound for California in 1845 found a narrow path through the mountains to pass through, later becoming part of the California Trail. Nearing the summit of Donner Pass, Amtrak's California Zephyr rolled through Soda Springs. In the winter, this area is often filled with visitors coming to the nearby ski resort. After making another stop in Truckee, California, the line heads downhill, meandering along the Truckee River for the duration of the journey out of the mountains and into the state of Nevada. Sunlight glistened off the side of the train as it continued on in the afternoon sun. Leaving the mountains behind and drawing near the outskirts of Reno, the California Zephyr passed through the site of Mogul, Nevada. The train continued through one of the last big curves prior to its station stop in Reno. Following an arrival into Chicago 2 days later, Locomotive 300 was put on display for a press event and later placed on the Amtrak Capital Limited for the final leg of the journey from Chicago to Washington, D.C. Thanks for joining me for part 3 of our look at the first new Amtrak ALC-42 locomotive. I hope you enjoyed this little mini-series on the ALC-42, and once again, a very enthusiastic thank you to Siemens Mobility and Amtrak for making this happen. As always, if you have any questions for me, please feel free to leave those in the comment section down below, and hit the like button too. If you haven't already, you're always more than welcome to subscribe to the channel and click on the bell button to receive notifications every time I post a new video. I'll be back next Friday at 9 AM Pacific Time with another brand new railroading adventure right here on the YouTube channel. That's it for now. Until next time, I'm Mike Armstrong. I'll see you down the line. Thanks for watching.